YouTube, my name's Lance and welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, look, it's been a few weeks since we've done a stew. A couple of weeks ago now we went up to my nephew's wedding up in Mackay and had a great time. There's a little town 30 k's north of Mackay in Queensland called Cutterbull, and a little pub there, just a ripper little pub, friendly hosts, and there's a little rundown caravan park next door, and I had a yarn to the old fella, and he says, "Oh yeah, you're welcome to stay and pull up a site," but he said, "Don't expect the Taj Mahal." Well, it was very basic, but the doors didn't lock properly on the amenities and things like that, but that was fine. We had a great weekend and played up a bit, met some new family and all that, so look, it was a good weekend. And Phil and Bella now hitched, and so no running away now for either of them. They're buggered, they're in there. And anyway, so that was a whole weekend away. We went up there, drove up on the Friday, stayed the Saturday, Sunday, drove home on the Monday, and it was about 9 hours drive each way. Pardon me. So that was a bit of an outing. Took the daughter Adele with us, and so yeah, before we went there we had to just make sure the cars were ready and service up the Triton and things like that. So that was good. Then last weekend we didn't get into Bundy Bear's Shed, as we have a shed over East Bundaberg that we used to run our business out of that is empty. We shifted up to a more popular part of town with our business, and it's been empty for a few months, and we have a tenant coming in now. I think it settles tomorrow, so we had to go over there and tidy up and get the leaves out of the car park and just big tidy up, give the place a wipe over and all that. It had been vacant for around 3 months, so we had put new kitchens and new bits and pieces in there, but just with being vacant things get dusty, so we did a big clean and did the glass and got the floor pressure cleaned once more, and they didn't want the hoist, the vehicle hoist, so we had to go and lift it out and that. So this weekend, it's Monday morning now, this weekend we had other commitments, going out for dinner and getting the yard back tidy because we've been away for a few weeks and doing the round upping and mucking around. So Sunday evening was the only time I've had a chance to come up into Bundy Bear's Shed. So anyway, we're here and I've got shit to clean up. The place looks a bit of a mess, but that's all right. I'll do that today. One thing I did do yesterday, which I was going to do for ages, but I just felt like machining doing something, so I whizzed up here quickly, didn't bring the camera, and I made a couple of copper ends for my little hammer here. And this was the little SP hammer I bought for $12, and it had these plastic ends on them. And the plastic ends, well, they're not very satisfactory. Look, they're all right for what they're made for. I'm not complaining about it, but when I bought the hammer and I saw these little ends there, and that's a 8mm by 1.25 thread, I thought, well, that'll suit me. So I've turned these down with the same back shape as this. Put a new 8 by 1.25 bolt in there. I didn't thread the copper. I didn't think it'd be strong enough. May well be, but I put a steel thread in there. So this will be for use around the mill. Originally the idea was to put brass one side, copper the other, and but then I thought about it and I thought, well, the copper's way softer, I don't need a hard hammer, I've got plenty of them. I've got plenty of the nylon or the plastic single, the lead filled, pellet filled ones. So I went this way and just for around the mill and just bumping things down and all that. It's nice and soft, shouldn't mark the parts. I've got nice flat surfaces. I've rounded the corners a little bit, so if I do a miss hit, it'll be okay. So yeah, that's the only the first thing I've made in Bundy Bear's Shed for 3 weeks. But anyway, that's how it goes. You can hear the sun's coming out, you can hear the shed creak. In a big shed, the metal expands and contracts through the day, and often of a morning you hear it creaking and groaning, and it sounds like it's in pain, but probably in pain because I'm here. But anyway, I still bought a few more things, and I've had this mill arbor, a Morse taper mill arbor with a 22mm guts in it, and And I've been wanting a little shell mill just for tidying up bits and pieces. So I come across this little fella, indexable inserts. I got it out of China. For me and my hobby fitting, that'll be fine. It's 50mm, 2-inch, and just for tidying up bits and pieces. Got nice corners on it, so you know we can go up to a shoulder. So I thought I'd have a crack at that. I'd still like about 100mm one or something like that yet, just for tidying stuff up. I could always just fly cut things too. So, but anyway, I like that. I thought I'd grab that for $45, and I'm always on the lookout for inserts and things. But when I did my quick change tool posts the other day, put the new screws in and that, I do have some tools tucked away that I haven't been using because the anvil, pardon me, the anvil or the backing plate under your tip has been broken on a couple, and they were second-hand stuff when I bought it. So out of China I bought a few of these inserts. Like that's the triangle ones, and that's just the anvil. That's for the threading inserts. I didn't really need them, but they were there. And that's your little diamond ones for some of the boring bars that I have. So we picked up a few of them, just from the same place that we're dealing with. I often have a look, and if I buy something, I'll have a look what else they got, and if we're paying freight, we go that way and get a little bit of extra. The Baldwin filter, we sell Baldwin filters from America. He bought me in the other day a nice little magnetic filter tray. Look at that. I have one on my lathe all the time. It sits up on the top of the lathe, and it holds all my centre drills and just little knickknacks you like to have on the lathe within hand's reach. It holds them, so this will be handy. Gavin's his name, Gavin from Baldwin Filters Australia, and that was a ripper thing. I was pleased to have that. It's got quite a strong magnet. Now with setting up Bundy Bear's shed again, as in setting it up for doing a bit of mechanical work on tractors and things like that, I've often mentioned that I've been on the spanners, on the tools, as a diesel fitter for 34 years before I sold my business, and I've sold it for 3 now, so it's been coming up 4 years. And I've kept my hand in mechanicking as a hobby tractor restorer, and I do tractors up as a hobby, and it's a great bit of fun, and actually introducing me, the tractors, repairing old tractors and that, introduced me to machining, and so that's what got me into machining originally. I couldn't find some parts, a lot of worn pins and bushes and things that make the difference between a patch-up job on a restoration and a full restoration. A lot of the parts you can't buy, and so that got me into machining years ago, and vintage stationary engines, I've been into them for many years, and machining's been something I learnt, and it's helped greatly with those hobbies. So after I sold my workshop, my tractor workshop, and I sold all the gear with it, only keeping the stuff that I had at home here for personal use, like my 2 lathes, the milling machine, the drills and that, but there was other drills and things over at the business that we sold. But as part of that, a lot of the tools that you collect over the years to do your job properly got sold, and so I've been buying bits and pieces as I find them to replace some of it, because the bloke I sold the business to, he's downsized it a lot. Look, we made a heap of money out of it, and we had great staff there and apprentices, and we were putting back into the community by employing apprentices, but they decided that wasn't the way they wanted to go, and he's slowly put everyone off and just runs the business by himself now, so which is a bit of a shame. We spent many years building it up, and it was a great business, and did well by us. We worked hard at it though. Like, I'd be at work at 6 o'clock every morning, and if I was coming home at 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 of the night and the phone rang and someone broke down, well, I'd just turn around and go, and I mightn't get home till 1 in the morning, and I'd keep going. Next morning I'd hop up at 6 o'clock and be on the road, because I'd have the job booked in for the next day. So we worked hard, but we did well. But we sold all the gear, all the knickknacks that we had around the press and all the little hand tools. So one thing I did have is I hopped on the lathe and I made a set of discs for pressing bearings and seals in. And I made that for myself, and they were 1/8 intervals with any special ones, you know, that were in between sizes. I'd made them as well. And look, that all went with the business. So I was looking the other day and I thought, well, what got me thinking about it was doing the Fergie axles, and I used to have plates to press them in, you know, just the right size, and it had Fergie on it, and there'd be a little toolbox, and there'd be a Fergie toolbox, and you'd know if you're doing a Fergie axle, you could open that toolbox, there'd be extra pulling studs, there'd be all the tools, all the little knickknacks you needed for doing that job. Well, of course that's all gone, so we're setting that up again, but I thought I'll make a set of alloy discs for pressing bearings and that in. So off I goes to buy the alloy, 3/4, buy a sheet, but anyway, a mate said to me, he says, oh, have a look, you can buy those sets already done. So I had a look, and you can buy the sets already done. And that's it. And they have a taper on them for pressing in a cup of a bearing. And so you can press the cup down into the bearing. And if you want to press a seal in, you just turn it over and press the seal in. So I had a look, and the other ones I made, and I had steel ones and a couple of alloy ones, but steel ones, and that whole kit on eBay was $35. I just couldn't buy the material for near that. So it's a basic set, and it even comes with an alloy handle, and with the alloy handle, yeah, you have the screw in here to hold it all together, and you can press bearings in or tap them in or turn it the other way and put something in. So that's just the way the world's going, isn't it? Now, one time it wasn't available to me, or if it was Sykes Pickervant, which was a great brand, and but holy doodly, were they expensive, and back then I couldn't afford them, so I made some. And I actually cut all the circles out with the oxy, and then sat there with carbide tools tidying it up and turning it down. It took ages, but look, it was a great set, and it lasted for 20 years or better, and it's still going. Justin still has it. So yeah, that was a buy just for the tractor side of things, just for the hobby. I don't really do, well, I do a little bit of customer work. It's only if someone else can't do it, and some of our customers we've known for many years, and they whisper in my ear, can you have a look at that, Lance? So I'll do it. I'm free from any contractual obligations from family business. So yeah, we bought that, and for $35, that was a great buy. Then I've been going to make a liner puller for pulling liners for little Fergies and that, because I sold all that too. And I got the idea of buying a cheap puller set with the idea of using this H pattern up there as a puller for the liners. Well, I read about it being about 7 inches, I think it's a bit over 6 inches wide. I thought, well, that'll do. Most of them are 106 millimetres. The bigger ones, you know, right down to 70, oh no, probably 80, 85 millimetres. Anyway, so this puller set was $45. And I thought, well, right, I'll get that, and I'll be able to make a thread up for pulling the liners and make a disc down the bottom. But when I got it, it was far lighter than I'd imagined. And so $45, that's a full puller set, and with the flying saucers for, you know, splitting bearings and all that. And I've got a few of them now, but that sort of stuff's always handy around the press. So even though the original plan to build the liner puller hasn't quite worked with that purchase, I just read the width, and I probably should have had a bit better of a go. But anyway, I don't mind tools in the shed. It's like Christmas. Your missus always tells me that. I did a job the other day for a bloke, and it was on a Massey Ferguson 165 or 168 multi-power, and up the end of the shaft, the main input shaft, there's a little needle bearing, and he tried to get it out with a screwdriver, and on a Torrington roller bearing, they do get hard on a blind hole, so he had to whisper to me and he says, "Could you get this out?" So I have a Sykes Pickavant blind hole puller set that I kept. The deal was anything in my toolbox didn't sell, and that was something I kept with me. But I realised by doing that a couple of the bigger ones that I needed for doing the John Deere tractors, I'd sold. I didn't have any anymore. And I think originally I kept them, but they the fellows bought the business, borrowed it off me, and I never got them back, so that's fine. So in doing that, another cheap set, $65, and this fella here, that's what it looks like, and you just tighten this up and it expands out into there, and it's got a slide hammer that goes with it, and so you poke it up the hole, expand it out, and tap, 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 out it comes. So that worked fine, and it was that's just another replacement tool. Just replacing gear that I used to have that I found handy. And the original Sykes Pickavant set, one of those adapters was, I can remember paying $120 for one, and the 3/4 one I've actually worn about 3 or 4 out over the years, and I still have a 3/4 one in my kit. And but yeah, like for $100 and something bucks, I'm a hobby bloke now. I don't do this for a living, and so yeah, 60 odd bucks for that. It was just worth doing. Yeah, so that's got it all sorted. It does right up to 32 millimeters, and in Sykes Pickavant I have the smaller one. So it's just about replacing old tools that I found necessary, and as a job comes along for me to do, well, we hop in an upgrade, or we just buy what we need when we see it. So another thing we did was, I used to work for Australian Airlines, and Great Keppel Island Resort. I was a maintenance fitter for Great Keppel Island Resort when Australian Airlines owned it for a while. And up there wasn't much in the way of taps and dies and things like that, and I found I had to have most of my own gear. So back in the 80s I bought myself a set of KC, 110 piece KC brand tap and die set, and that was about the only tap and die set on the island, and I couldn't afford the Sutton, P&N and all that back then, so I bought the K&C one, and it had metric and imperial, and look, that got me out of the tin. It saved me a lot of time, and to this day I still have many of those taps and dies. But what happens over the years is they go blunt and the edge goes off them, and they get a bit hard to use, and you know, there's more forces, so you're a bit worried about breaking them. So I have been buying, if I'm doing a heap of holes of the one sort in the milling machine or something like that, I go and buy Sutton P&N. Like, they're great, and I buy machine taps and all that. But for most of my mucking around, I don't need that. My old set worked fine, but they're just getting dull, and I had it at the main workshop there for many years, and a lot of them went missing and got replaced. But I decided that it was time to have a look at my taps and dies, and when I buy a set of Sutton P&N, buy the HSS ones, you're paying about anywhere from $15 to $20 per tap, and by the time you buy the taper, intermediate and bottoming tap, you're looking at 60 bucks a set. And I've done that in quarter UNC, 5/16 UNC, a couple of the other little ones, and I was thinking, boy, this is going to get expensive really quick. So I looked at my old KC set, and I thought, I'll see if I can find another one of those fellas. So I did. I found one on eBay, and it's tungsten, tungsten tooling, so it's an alloy tooling, and it's the same set that I bought years ago, and I don't know if it'll be the same quality or not, but that's it. When you buy these sets, the first thing you do is chuck all the handles to the shit out. They're not much good, but that's the top layer, and then under there, under the bottom layer, if I can get it all out there. And that's the taps underneath. So it's 110 piece. It's the same set that I had many years ago, and look, if it's half as good as the set I had years ago, that'll see me out. And it's one of those things. It's all I had for many years, and I used to go bush with me, that set, and that was all I had, and they lasted me well. I did have a couple of times. I have broken a couple over the years, but I don't break taps often, and I thought, well, that'll just be for new threads. As my taps get older and get a bit blunter, they go down the ladder of importance in tools. The worn ones, they become the ones where you clean rusty threads out. You get a bit of dirt out of the thread if you can't. If you're out bush and you can't blow it out, you've got to put a tap and get a stick or a screwdriver and loosen everything up and try and clean it out and wash it out with CRC or WD-40. So that's up to 3/4, and so that'll be a better set. I still have Sutton P&N for machining, other stuff, but it's just an addition to the workshop. And the old ones go to cleaning old threads, and the new ones that are nice and sharp go to cutting new threads. So yeah, look, that's what's been happening while we've been out of Bundy Bear's shed. We've still been keeping the eye out and getting a few knickknacks and things like that. And another thing I'd like to bring to your attention is my hat. Look at that. Hey, have you ever seen such a bloody fine hat? A lady in Ireland, Paddy McKenna, sent me that, and that's the grey and gold Fergie I have over in the corner here, and yeah, Paddy is into the Fergie tractors, and in England and Ireland there's a lot of Fergie tractors over there, and she's into that, and she runs a Facebook page called The Grey Run. So look, thanks Paddy, it's a great hat. Oh, I was tickled pink when you sent it to me. Yeah, the embroidery's great. Yeah, it looks just like mine. It's a ripper. So this is going to be my going out to tractor shows hat. Yeah, I'll keep it as a good one, and as I go to rallies and things like that and take my little tractor around, well, this will be the hat that goes with the tractor. So look, thanks Paddy, that's great. It's really appreciated. It's a ripper hat, and yeah, g'day from Australia. Look, that's probably all we're going to have on Kangaroo Stew for Bundy Bear's shed this week. We'll try and get a few things organised for next week, a few little projects, and get back into the swing of things now we've had a break. Summer's here, it's getting hot. Oh, it was a cracker yesterday. Yesterday about 11 o'clock the heat just come in, and oh man, she was mid-30s anyway, and so yeah, I pulled up for a little while and had a break and watched Landline on the ABC, and yeah, had a break, and about 2 o'clock I got back out and got going again. So yeah, starting to heat up, so the fan will be on in the shed here soon, and we'll be off and racing, doing other jobs. Sometimes it slows down a bit because it's that hot, but yeah, the humidity seems to get you a little bit because we're right close to the coast. So. Well, look, thanks for watching. I'll try and get a bit more content next week, and yeah, catch up with you next time, mate. See ya.